welcome back to another video. Today I am talking about why Boruto's generation is so much weaker than the Naruto generation. Now, of course, with the Boruto generation, at least the first part of Boruto, it is mostly focused on Boruto, Mitsuki, and Sarada up to a point to where Kawaki's introduced. At no point in this beginning or first part of Boruto do they bring up the strengths of Shikadai, Ino's kid. They do Sumere's arc real well with Nue. They do Iwabe arc, even though we all thought he was Kawaki, and they do Denki. None of these characters have feats. Not a single one of the characters have feats, because Boruto, unlike the first part of Naruto, did not focus on the variety of characters. It just focused solely on the new Team 7 and their growth and their differences from the old Team 7 and how they can surpass the older generation. And of course, this question is pointed out or was asked because a question was posed to me with Kakashi's quote, the newer generation will always surpass the older generation. This one won't. Boruto and Kawaki are for real carrying in this point of the show. Without them, this generation would extremely die towards any generation of Naruto. Now, we also have to point out this generation is brought up in a land of peace. Now, there's sort of conflicts here and there, but it's mostly peaceful. Like they're not trying to get by every single chance. Their missions aren't always death missions in the Boruto world. They're mostly everything's at peace. No one's attacking the Leaf because Sasuke and Naruto at this point of the show. So with the Great Ninja Alliance, everyone has come together and perform a peaceful treaty. And there's not one nation against one nation anymore. Now, there's might be once everyone just turns around and gangs up on the Leaf much later on, but I don't think we're going to go that route for a war arc. I think that's more of the Otsutsuki war arc. Now, that's probably what I'm predicting. But yeah, they're not fighting to the death. There's no force of death in the Chunin exams, where legit in the original Naruto, people was dropping like flies, for real. And then you would have to think the Minato, the Itachi's generations, the Hashirama, the modern generations. Each generation grew up in a land of a time of war, and basically a time of where everyone wanted to attack the Leaf. Orochimaru attacks the Leaf. Pain attacks the Leaf. So they had to get stronger. And like Killer B points out, you have to fight to get stronger. You can train all you want. You can train to hone your skills. But if you don't have the fighting experience or the fighting aptitude, the fighting experience, you're not getting any stronger. It's like a cheat code. You gotta push yourself to get as strong as possible. And this generation, of course, does not. With the quote of strong men are born through tough times, but weak men are born through good times, right? I'm not sure if how that quote goes, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. And just like the first part of Boruto, since the main focus is on the new Team 7, we really don't get to see the other teams do anything. Now, the anime do try to expand on like the newer teams, their abilities and all the stuff like that, but since that's mostly filler and not towards the manga, we don't count it as a fandom. They can show off, they can tell us these things, they can even show us the abilities, but since it is not shown in the manga, the fandom, or at least me, will not consider it canon. Or at least there's no mention of it, so I'm not considering it canon. The fights we see, the Chunin exams that we see in the Boruto movie, and even when they have to retell it in the Boruto show, of course, is canon, and love to see that. But since that is the only time they really display their abilities to like the fullest extent, except that little Metal Lee arc, which I think, not sure, is filler, then that's kind of tough to really be up there with. So you could say all you want that Kakashi's statement holds true. Kakashi's statement fails. This generation is surprisingly weak, and if they were to train and actually have a proper time skip, maybe they would gain the strength of their fathers and their mothers. But since they are born through peace, and even when Boruto went away, they mostly had peace. if they don't have the pressure or the war style mindset that, oh, I gotta be strong to live to the next day, then they're essentially weaker towards the other generations of Naruto, which isn't specifically a bad thing, because you want a peaceful time in the Naruto world. That was Naruto's goal and that was Naruto's dream, and he achieved it, so appreciate that, right? But this generation is far weaker. You cannot give me a matchup outside of Naruto, outside of Boruto, Kuwaki, maybe Sarada after she gains a little bit more feats, and maybe Mitsuki, that will have a chance to go up against the older generation of Naruto. Outside of the support characters, because even the support characters in Naruto got some ridiculous feats through novels, data books, and anime, of course. While these side characters, these support characters, do nothing. They legit they rather scream Boruto's name, Kawaki's name, or anything like that. So that is my viewpoint on this of why Boruto's generation is just so much weaker. It's not that Boruto and Kawaki are weak. They will surpass the older generation by a whole lot. But the rest of them will just be subpar to the older one because they are just born in a more peaceful time. I think we throw them in the forest of death and just see how that works out. Anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.